uh. Yeah. Sit down. Sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One, two, three. Hi guys. Yeah. Welcome to PunDiTri. So we'll be doing the match predictions for the English Premier League for game week 10.
Yeah.
Right. We're in double digits now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Alright, so we'll dive straight in.
Yeah.
First game of the week is Leicester against Arsenal.
Yeah.
So Leicester had a good week last week. Well, three wins in a row in all competitions now. Yeah, and we've got Tillemans who scored the wonder goal against Brentford last week, and also James Madison is back on the score sheet. Yeah, nice. All right.
And Arsenal getting into some form. They won against Villa last week.
Yeah.
3-1.
Yeah.
Let's just say that they have not lost in the last six consecutive Premier League games. So
Very impressive.
that's very impressive.
Yeah.
Smith on the score sheet, Aubameyang in form. So please don't be so bad to Arteta. Sometimes you're watching this.
So well, a few weeks ago, or I think as of the last few weeks, people have been comparing Arteta to Solskjaer. Yeah, like they are the two worst managers in the league. But I think based on recent events, I would say Arteta is not that bad after all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen in this game?
It's tough because both teams on form so far.
Mm.
I think it might be a draw, a big one,
Draw?
2-2. I
Draw?
think 2-2.
I'm actually going for a Leicester win because not just because it's home and because of the form that they're on, but also because there is some emotional element as well. Yeah, this coming game because it is the third death anniversary of the owner, the Thai owner. And Leicester fans, they do have an affinity. There's a triumvirate kind of relationship between the players, the fans, and also the owners of the Leicester City Club. Yeah. So it feels like the players would actually find more in their locker.
Yeah.
To honor their late owner. Yeah. So I'm gonna go for a Leicester win, and I'm gonna go for it won't be too big gap. Yeah. So I'm going for a 2-1 Leicester win. Yeah. All right. So next up we have Burnley against Brentford.
Yeah, Burnley, we had to win a game this season. Really coming to the 10th week.
Yeah.
And they're not even winning a single game. I mean, what's wrong?
Well, like Norwich. Yeah, so
I mean,
not bad.
Cornet scoring is not, I think last game he scored 2 goals, so it's pretty impressive. Other than that, yeah, it's quite right.
Yeah, and they'll be facing a Brentford team
Yeah,
who still show no signs of fear. And even though they lost last week against Leicester, um, you never would have thought that they they have given up the game. Yeah, they never give up. So even when they are trailing, they still go for every ball, and the way they play is just mature, good technique, good play, good drive. Yeah, yeah. So Thomas Frank is doing the right things. Yeah, and I think it's gonna be a Brentford win for me, even though they're weak. Yeah, so I'm going for a 2-1 Brentford win.
2-1. I believe you as well. 2-1.
2-1 Brentford.
Points for me as well.
Nice. Yeah. So next up we have Liverpool against Brighton. Yeah. So Liverpool back off a fantastic away win last week against Manchester United. Yeah. So there's no sense of slowing down. Yeah. So Salah had a hat trick last week. So you wouldn't put it beyond him to repeat the trick. Yeah. Another hat trick this week. And I think the whole team are gelling well. Yes, our defensively Liverpool are still a bit shaky. Yeah, not as strong as the previous season, but overall they look a very solid outfit, and they'll be facing Brighton. Yeah,
I mean, Keita is also injured.
Yeah.
It's sad about that for Liverpool fans.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter, does it?
no, but they'll be facing Brighton. Yeah, so
Yeah. Brighton, they're comfortable this season.
Yeah.
I should say, even though the big loss against City.
for
But
one. Yeah,
forward. It looks like they're fighting for European football, which is good signs, I guess, for
Yeah.
Brighton fans. The fifth place, so it's seriously not
and it's good for the league as well because it's just because you have money doesn't guarantee the club success anymore. So we're moving towards that phase, or a more mature phase in the league. If you run the club well, you do your coach has the right tactics. You get the players gelling together with teamwork. Yeah, even if they are not as talented as other teams or not as good as other teams, they can still compete and come on top. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is one of the success stories. Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen?
I think I'm sorry, Brighton fans, for watching this. I think Liverpool will beat you guys because I against Manchester United at Old Trafford win 5-0. It's just big, especially keeping a clean sheet. Biggest rival. So I think this will be a comfortable win. Don't forget they're playing at Anfield.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a 3-0 win. Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm going a bit higher. The clean sheet. Yeah, I think there will be a clean sheet. Brighton, as exciting as they may be, I don't think they can still score against Liverpool. And I think Liverpool will be a 4-0 win to Liverpool. Yeah.
That wasn't that bad to Brighton.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, next up we have Man City against Crystal Palace. Yeah.
Yeah, Man City won big, as I mentioned, against Brighton 4-1. For them with 2 goals, Mares with a goal as well. So overall, the team is in good shape.
Yeah.
In solid
Okay.
shape.
Yeah. And they'll be facing a Crystal Palace team, yeah, who have wrapped up a few draws. A lot of them coming from behind as well. So Vieira is doing the right things. Yeah, I think that he's definitely moving in the right direction. But it feels like he can't get out of that little rut of having draws.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost there, but not really crossing the line yet into wins. Yeah, but they are close and they are competing, and their team spirit is quite encouraging. Yeah, to watch. Yeah, and he's gotten Benteke scoring goals and playing well again. Yeah, so the forgotten
The
man.
bicycle kick was good.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna, but I think it's very hard to look beyond a City win for this match. So I'm going for a City win, a comfortable win, for City. I'm gonna go for one.
4-1.
Yeah, for one City win.
Seriously? I think City will win this as well, but not that much. Oh my God. I think they win 2-0.
2-0. Because well, I'm giving Crystal Palace a lot of credit already. Yeah, because for them to score a goal against Man City. If DS, Ederson, and I think who's the other defender now? What Aki is probably playing. Yeah, or Laporte. Yeah, if they are playing, it's very hard to get past them. Right. So next up we have Newcastle against Chelsea. Yeah, so one money club playing the other. Yeah, but the difference being Newcastle hasn't spent any money yet. The new owners haven't had a chance to spend any money yet. So Newcastle had a draw last week, yeah, against Crystal Palace. Yeah. So they are a team that are improving, I feel, but without a manager still. Yeah. So no manager, but there's only good things to look forward ahead. And let's not. I mean, if you watch last week game, Callum Wilson,
What a goal.
what a goal! Yeah.
What a goal.
So there is talent there, even without even before dipping into the transfer market.
And you can't rely on one thing.
Exactly, but they do have a few, yeah. So
Yeah.
let's just run through a few names. Sam Maximin, very exciting talent.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the ones behind the players behind the back four might need a change, but I think they've got one or two young players. Yeah, John Joe Shelby is actually quite good as well, but I don't know if he can make the next step.
Yeah.
In terms of improving the club. So we'll see. Yeah, they'll be facing against Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea dominated 7-0
Yeah.
last week. Mason Mount getting the score sheet with hat-trick. Although it's top against Tottenham, it's
Yeah.
still big, 7-0. So I guess it's
Well,
easy getting to
yeah. If I were to judge Chelsea based on just that game, I wouldn't look too much into it. Yes, it's 7-0,
Yeah.
but it's against a Norwich team who
Yeah.
offer nothing.
Yeah.
Who offer nothing. So, but if you look at Chelsea's season overall,
Yeah.
I think you have to say that along with Man City and Liverpool, they are probably the three probable title contenders.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the others will be playing catch me, right? Yeah. Then again, this is from the first 10 games or first 9 games, so we'll have a clearer picture after Christmas. Yeah. So what do you think the scoreline is?
I mean, they're playing at home. Yeah, Crystal Palace.
Newcastle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I say Crystal Palace.
Yeah, it's Newcastle. No worries. Yeah. So yeah.
But I think Chelsea will win this one. Probably not really that comfortable because see like Callum Wilson on form.
Yeah.
But I think they'll win this one 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for a bigger win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a bigger win because I think Chelsea, like you said, 7-0, even though it's against Norwich, it's a confidence booster. Yeah, it's a confidence booster. Plus, overall, they've been performing well anyway. Yeah, throughout the season, and there's goals in there from everywhere. Yeah, even their defenders, Thiago Silva, Rudiger, they've been scoring goals as well. They've been chipping in. Yeah. So I think it's gonna be comfortable for Chelsea, but I'm gonna fancy Newcastle to score at least one goal. So I'm gonna go for 4-1.
4-1.
Yeah, 4-1 to
4-1
Chelsea.
should be still.
So far only two, but yeah, this is the second one. All right. So next up we move to Watford. Yeah. So Watford against Southampton.
Yeah, Watford managed to overcome against Everton last week. They were 2-0 down at the 70th minute.
Yeah.
And managed to score 4 goals. 5-2 final score.
Yeah.
I mean, it's big, with Joshua King, a hat trick. I mean, Sheldon Ranieri, that's why he's so special. Like, he's really unpredictable.
Yeah.
Anytime. Really
So and they were trailing as well. Yeah. So to come back from that, like I should say, yeah. So it shows a lot of character.
Yeah.
And I don't know what was said at halftime, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, so and they'll be facing Southampton, who also drew last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but coming back on, I mean, they one draw and one win from the last 2 games. Yeah. So what comes next is up to them. Yeah, win, lose or draw, they might want to avoid the losing part. Yeah. So if they can get at least a point against Watford away, I think they should be able to do that. Yeah, they should be able to do that. So I'm going for a draw. I'm going for a 2-all draw.
I think Watford might win this. Especially that 5-2 big victory.
Yep.
I think the win is at home. 2-1.
2-1 to Watford. Right. Right. So next up we have Spurs against Manchester United. Yeah, at the new White Hart Lane. So Spurs coming back off a defeat with West Ham. Yeah. So Nuno, I mean, he's always under flag. Yeah, but I feel like a lot of it is unjustified. A lot of the criticism, because say what you want, yeah, about his last game or whatever, but they are still in the top six. Yeah. So still there, still challenging. But maybe they just need a bit more consistency.
Yeah.
In terms of results. Yeah, and they'll be facing United. Yeah.
Yeah, United lost against Liverpool 5-0. Yeah, at Old Trafford. Like, seriously, it's embarrassing. I mean, it's really embarrassing. Like, I mean, let me just say something. One quick thing. They considered 15 goals this season.
Yeah.
15 goals. That shows how bad the backline is.
For a club challenging for title or even Champions League spot, I think that is a bit too leaky.
Yeah, title contenders, or like title contenders. Alright, all jokes aside, you think Ollie should stay or Ollie should go?
No, I think Ollie should stay at least until the end of the season, because you can't. Rome doesn't change in a day. Yeah, so if you bring in somebody in now, he has to start from scratch. So you don't change your captain midway through a voyage. You reach the next spot, which is the end of the season, and then you get somebody else in, who will take the club to the next level. Because I think as good as Ole is, as much sentiment there is, as a ex-legend, player legend, he probably isn't big enough for the job. Or the job is too big for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe somebody like Conte, if there are talks going there, there's the talks to Conte. So yeah, so we'll see what happens at the end of the season. But I think they should stick with him, and hopefully he'll make the best of it. Yeah. So a Champions League spot for United this season will be considered a success, I think, as they learn to review.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Score prediction.
I'm gonna give Ollie a chance. After that, 3 losses in a row, or is it more? 3 losses, right?
Premier League?
Yeah.
No, they. Oh yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Uh,
Not sure.
I'm not sure. Oh no, I think it was one draw and then two losses.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but I think I'm gonna give all your chance.
Yeah.
Spurs also a bit down this season.
Yeah.
I think it will draw at White Hart Lane 1-0.
I'm gonna go for a Spurs win because Spurs can sense blood.
Oh, you think
And
Spurs
it's
will win?
yeah, and it's on their home ground. So Kane and Cole, I think Kane will be rubbing his hands after seeing Salah last week or watching United last week. So him and Son and I don't know if Lucas Moura is back yet, but him and Son and Bob White maybe possibly. So they'll be relishing it, and Nuno will see this as a chance
Yeah.
to bring in a moral boosting win against a top team.
So you think Spurs will win it?
Yeah, I think Spurs will win. So I'm gonna go for I think United will score. Yeah. But I'm gonna go for 3-2. Exciting game.
3-2. Wow.
Exciting game. Yeah. Spurs to win. Yeah. I just like the roar of the crowd. All right. So next up we have Norwich against Leeds.
Yeah, Norwich, my goodness me. Rock bottom. They lost 7-0 against the top. I mean, it's just embarrassing to see them in the Premier League. I seriously, especially when this part of the stage is competitive
Yeah.
for every single team, and you're just like that one. No offense, but it's seriously embarrassing. I mean, how do you make it out?
Yeah, it's quite tough,
Yeah,
because
Premier
there's always. I mean, this is a lesson. So, it's life is harsh, So there's
Yeah.
always somebody gonna be, as much as somebody will be at the top, somebody will be on the losing end as well. So unfortunately, Norwich, they are they are really down in the dumps. But it is not too late for them to turn their season around. We've seen it with teams in the past. Bottom three most of the season, and then they rallied towards the second half of the season. So realistically, their goal is actually to avoid relegation. Um, so hopefully they'll be able to do it. But they'll be facing a Leeds United team who are performing well. Yes, they drew last week. But they'll be racking up wins as well. And the play has been good. Under Bielsa. Standards haven't dropped. Rafinha was a beast. Last week. Was like
unfortunately,
well, but doesn't matter because it was effort. He actually ran himself to the ground. He was everywhere, here, there, everywhere. Defending, taking in throws, going in front, making plays, and scoring goals. So if they can keep that level of determination, especially from one of the star players, Rafinha, I think well the season will be fine, good for them. So specifically for this game, I'm going to go for a lead win. I think it's a no-brainer, even though it's away. Uh, Norwich might give some resistance at the start, but they cannot outrun or outlast Leeds. So I fancy Leeds to score maybe later on in the first half because Norwich will try to resist. But I think it's going to be a 3-0.
3-0.
Yeah, 3-0 to
I
Leeds.
think they won't keep a clean sheet. I'm going for 3-1 because like Leeds, the way they pressure you is like crazy.
Yeah.
And against
They won't have time to breathe. So it's going to be an interesting one. Alright, so next up we go to Villa Park. So we've got Aston Villa against West Ham United. So if you look at their jerseys, you might feel like, hey, Clarets, both Clarets, different clubs. Don't worry, there'll be an away kit. So
Villa.
Aston Villa. So Aston Villa, they drew last week.
I think they lost.
Oh, they lost.
They lost.
They lost to. They lose to.
Wait. Oh yeah, they lost against Arsenal.
They lost to
Oh
Arsenal 3-1. Yes, I was watching that game as well. So
Arsenal.
I'm gonna say, well, as much as Arsenal is home. So as much as Arsenal played well or secured the 3 points and the 3 goals, I feel like Villa were a bit unlucky. So they actually tried to rally in the second half. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough. There was no end product, and Arsenal defended well against them. So I don't think it's a fair reflection on their recent performances and also their the season they had so far.
West Ham. I mean, they won the London Derby. Wait, not London Derby. London Derby.
London Derby.
Yeah, it's the London Derby. They won against Spurs 1-0. Yeah, it was solid. I should see the performances.
Valencia the score sheet again.
Yeah. So it's not bad. Okay. They are top four, Champions League spot.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah, that's big.
That's big.
So in the past, I mean, with West Ham, yeah, speaking of West Ham, and speaking of Champions League spot, so in the past, with the traditionally at the start of the season, when you look at the table and the teams, you have thought, oh, Man City top four, yeah, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man United. So I think, like I said, mentioned before, the top three, Chelsea, United, Chelsea, City, and Liverpool, probably will be the top three at the end of the season. But the fourth place is up for grabs, man.
Yeah.
And it's only one place, and it's a play between like I think it's like five teams at the moment. Yeah. So West Ham are actually one of them. I would say they are the front runners.
Yeah. But for this game, I'm gonna go different. I think Villa will win this one, especially the downward spiral that they've been. They lost three of the last 3 games.
Yeah.
Last 3 games they lost. Especially when they're playing at home. I think they win this one. I'm gonna say 1-0.
1-0 to Villa.
1-0.
Okay. I like Villa. Yeah, I'm a fan of theirs, especially after they beat Liverpool 7-2 last season. But I think West Ham might just prove too much for them, even though it's away. It's gonna be a narrow one. Yeah, so I agree with you. It's gonna be a narrow one. Uh, West Ham to win 2-1 to grab it. Yeah. Villa to score first, by the way. Yeah.
Hey.
West Ham to win 2-1. Yeah. All right. So next up, last game of the week, we've got Wolves against Everton.
Yeah, Wolves. They're doing alright, I should say. PunDiTri, my goodness me. How many goals?
We talked about him last week as well, yeah.
And he scored against Leeds.
It feels like he just got off the plane and then he ran straight to the field and then he started scoring goals already. That's what it feels
That's
like,
exactly what it is. So it's I mean they're looking okay, I should say the table not bad for them so far, especially after the first 3 games. You know, they lost all the way.
Yeah, they're right.
They're getting back up.
Right in the middle of the table.
Getting back up.
Yeah. Right. So and they'll be facing against Everton. So Everton have fell off the wagon a little bit in the past few weeks. Yeah. But still, I mean, with Rafa there and with the talent that they have, Calvin Lewin, who else do they have? Richarlison and the likes. Yeah. So they probably will get back. Hopefully they get back.
And the Maran Grey.
The Maran Grey, 1 million signing. So so they need to get back onto a winning run, yeah, or a run of form where even draws permissible as well. But I think for this game, Wolves home, Wolves win.
You think Wolves win?
Yeah,
I'm
win
going
for
for
Wolves. Yeah. You say your prediction first.
I think this will be a big one. Like I think this will be a 6-goal match. 3-all.
Oh, 3-all?
Yeah. Both defenses a bit shit.
So 3-all draw, yeah. Alright. Okay. I'm going for a Wolves win. Going for 3 goals for Wolves as well. But I'm going for Everton too. So 3-2 to Wolves. Alright. So yeah, so that's our prediction. That's all the predictions that we have. Yeah. So
team's a bit crap so far. Moving on. No offense. But yeah.
So I think the dog is getting a bit antsy. So we'll finish there. So don't forget to subscribe and put your thoughts in our comments as well. Yeah. So feel free to interact with us. Ashton will talk to you and then tell us your predictions as well because we would love to have that. Yeah. And I know we in the near future we'll probably have a prize as well, but not yet. But it's always good to
we're a bit
right.
broke as for now.
I'm broke actually. Yeah.
No, I'm not.
All right. So yeah, feel free to like, subscribe, and also put your comments. Not just on Instagram. We have a YouTube link as well. Yeah. So go there as well. All right. So that's all we have for this week. Until next week.
Yeah.
Bye guys.